Hi, my name is Michael Wheeler, and I'm a sergeant with the Roanoke City Sheriff's Department, specifically the Civil Process Division. That falls underneath of the Law Enforcement Division of the Sheriff's Department. So my office is responsible for serving or executing all of the evictions within the city of Roanoke. In the year of 2022, we executed just over 1,100 evictions. So once our office is involved in the eviction process, there's been a process that's already taken place. Judgment has already been made. We just don't show up to homes based off of being told to by a landlord to kick somebody out. There's a process that's taken place that's part of the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of Virginia. The first part of the process for the eviction in general, before we get involved, is called a 5-day pay or quit. That's where the landlord will serve a paper letting the person know that they're either late in rent or there's another reason for them being evicted. After that time frame has taken place, then they are allowed to basically go file for what is called a summons for unlawful detainer. That represents a court date with the Roanoke City General District Court System. And on that date, the landlord and tenant will get together and they will, a judge will listen to evidence and decide who gets the property, whether it's the landlord or the tenant. After that takes place, if the judgment is with the landlord can then file for a writ of eviction or writ for unlawful detainer. And that's when the sheriff's office is commanded to execute the writ. So when we arrive to do the eviction, we will make contact with the landlord when we first get there to kind of explain the process to them if they're unfamiliar, and then remove them from the area if things are volatile or the landlord and the tenant are not getting along. We explain that process to the tenant. The tenant, if they are actively moving things, we will allow them to continue doing that, and the landlord will change the locks on all the exterior doors. And then the residence will stay unlocked, and it'll continue to stay unlocked for the rest of the day while the tenant continues to move stuff. They will come back and lock all the doors to the residence. Nobody is allowed to spend the night there, but if the tenant needs more time to be able to remove their belongings from the residence, they will be allowed to do that the next day. To be clear, we don't work for the landlord or the tenant. We actually work for the court system. That's who gives us our orders. When we execute a writ, it says on that writ, you shall execute this particular piece of paperwork. With that said, we also find ourselves in some heartbreaking instances where we're evicting people, but we do have a job that we are told we have to do. And we don't leave that scene with that loss on us. We give information to them in the form of literature that they might be able to reach out to some of the resources in the valley and help better the position that they may be in. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to our office, specifically the Civil Process Unit. The phone number is 540-853-2721. Thank you.